Let's see what we got. Doom, 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 doom. And we got it. Fantastic. All right. There we are. And there we are. And there we are.
I still don't know why it does that to the host. That's always been interesting to me.
Yeah, it is. Or co hosts, because we know better.
Hmm.
All right. Let's get this show on the road. Welcome, 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 everybody. We are so glad to have you with us here on day number 9 of the Mastering of Science of Getting Rich with Robert Hollis. And you know what? All right, yes, I'm a broken record when I say that as you watch each one of these days, each one of these chapters that we go through, we are getting gooder and gooder. We are getting better and better, or can I say betterer and betterer, because each chapter builds on itself. And today's chapter is a perfect follow up from yesterday. And it just, yeah, I'm just going to say it works.
Yeah.
It works.
It's
So,
like he almost thought about how he wanted the book to lay out. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah, yeah. And I mean, I don't know how many rewrites he went through, but oh my gosh. I think it was, I forget who said it yesterday, or was it Matt that said it, that he culled everything down to the very basic.
yeah.
And so that there's no fluff. It's just to the point, straight to the point, and then go from there. And that's why, yes, the book may be a little small in the sense of it being a book, especially when you compare it to other books, but the power of the words are what makes it so incredible. And this book was written in 1910, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. We are going through it chapter by chapter in our series of Mastering the Science of Getting Rich with Robert Hollis. Before I introduce our host here, I want to say please like this video. Please share this video. And if you're not subscribed to the channel on YouTube, please subscribe to it. We appreciate you, and we've just got so much more that we're going to share with you, but let's get started. This gentleman is incredible. He's been in the networking industry for 35 years. He is a member of the Networking Hall of Fame, and the foundation of his teachings, his guidance, his mentorship is all based on this book, The Science of Getting Rich. So, to introduce the master of the science of getting rich for today in our chapter, How to Use the Will, please welcome Robert Hollis!
I still love the different kinds of looks that everyone has when Craig does that. It's like the only way that you could understand it again is I pray one day you get introduced that way. And I hope that it affects you the same way it affects me. I still feel like I'm not all that in a bag of chips. You know what I mean? I got so much stuff to do. So let's get right into it, and listen to this chapter, and then follow up with the discussion. I'm excited about this.
Chapter 9, How to Use the Will. To set about getting rich in a scientific way, you do not try to apply your willpower to anything outside of yourself. You have no right to do so anyway. It is wrong to apply your will to other men and women in order to get them to do what you wish done. It is as flagrantly wrong to coerce people by mental power as it is to coerce them by physical power. If compelling people by physical force to do things for you reduces them to slavery, compelling them by mental means accomplishes exactly the same thing. The only difference is in methods. If taking things from people by physical force is robbery, then taking things by mental force is robbery also. There is no difference in principle. You have no right to use your willpower upon another person, even for his own good, for you do not know what is for his good. The science of getting rich does not require you to apply power or force to any other person in any way whatsoever. There is not the slightest necessity for doing so. Indeed, any attempt to use your will upon others will only tend to defeat your purpose. You do not need to apply your will to things in order to compel them to come to you. That would simply be trying to coerce God and would be foolish and useless as well as irreverent. You do not have to compel God to give you good things any more than you have to use your willpower to make the sun rise. You do not have to use your willpower to conquer an unfriendly deity or to make stubborn and rebellious forces do your bidding. Substance is friendly to you and is more anxious to give you what you want than you are to get it. To get rich, you need only to use your willpower upon yourself. When you know what to think and do, then you must use your will to compel yourself to think and do the right things. That is the legitimate use of the will in getting what you want. To use it in holding yourself to the right course. Use your will to keep yourself thinking and acting in a certain way. Do not try to project your will or your thoughts or your mind out into space to act on things or people. Keep your mind at home. It can accomplish more there than elsewhere. Use your mind to form a mental image of what you want and to hold that vision with faith and purpose, and use your will to keep your mind working in the right way. The more steady and continuous your faith and purpose, the more rapidly you will get rich, because you will make only positive impressions upon substance, and you will not neutralize or offset them by negative impressions. The picture of your desires, held with faith and purpose, is taken up by the formless and permeates it to great distances throughout the universe, for all I know. As this impression spreads, all things are set moving toward its realization. Every living thing, every inanimate thing, and the things yet uncreated are stirred toward bringing into being that which you want. All force begins to be exerted in that direction. All things begin to move toward you. The minds of people everywhere are influenced toward doing the things necessary to the fulfilling of your desires, and they work for you unconsciously. But you can check all this by starting a negative impression in the formless substance. Doubt or unbelief is as certain to start a movement away from you as faith and purpose are to start one toward you. It is by not understanding this that most people who try to make use of mental science in getting rich make their failure. Every hour and moment you spend in giving heed to doubts and fears, every hour you spend in worry, every hour in which your soul is possessed by unbelief, sets a current away from you in the whole domain of intelligent substance. All the promises are unto them that believe, and unto them only. Notice how insistent Jesus was upon this point of belief, and now you know the reason why. Since belief is all important, it behooves you to guard your thoughts, and as your beliefs will be shaped to a very great extent by the things you observe and think about, it is important that you should command your attention. And here the will comes into use, for it is by your will that you determine upon what things your attention shall be fixed. If you want to become rich, you must not make a study of poverty. Things are not brought into being by thinking about their opposites. Health is never to be attained by studying disease and thinking about disease. Righteousness is not to be promoted by studying sin and thinking about sin. and no one ever got rich by studying poverty and thinking about poverty. Medicine, as a science of disease, has increased disease. Religion, as a science of sin, has promoted sin. And economics, as a study of poverty, will fill the world with wretchedness and want. Do not talk about poverty, do not investigate it, or concern yourself with it. Never mind what its causes are. You have nothing to do with them. What concerns you is the cure. Do not spend your time in charitable work or charity movements. All charity only tends to perpetuate the wretchedness it aims to eradicate. I do not say that you should be hard-hearted or unkind and refuse to hear the cry of need, but you must not try to eradicate poverty in any of the conventional ways. Put poverty behind you and put all that pertains to it behind you and make good. Get rich. That is the best way you can help the poor. And you cannot hold the mental image which is to make you rich if you fill your mind with pictures of poverty. Do not read books or papers which give circumstantial accounts of the wretchedness of the tenement dwellers, of the horrors of child labor, and so on. Do not read anything which fills your mind with gloomy images of want and suffering. You cannot help the poor in the least by knowing about these things, and the widespread knowledge of them does not tend at all to do away with poverty. What tends to do away with poverty is not the getting of pictures of poverty into your mind, but getting pictures of wealth into the minds of the poor. You are not deserting the poor in their misery when you refuse to allow your mind to be filled with pictures of that misery. Poverty can be done away with, not by increasing the number of well-to-do people who think about poverty, but by increasing the number of poor people who purpose with faith to get rich. The poor do not need charity, they need inspiration. Charity only sends them a loaf of bread to keep them alive in their wretchedness, or gives them an entertainment to make them forget for an hour or two. But inspiration will cause them to rise out of their misery. If you want to help the poor, demonstrate to them that they can become rich. Prove it by getting rich yourself. The only way in which poverty will ever be banished from this world is by getting a large and constantly increasing number of people to practice the teachings of this book. People must be taught to become rich by creation, not by competition. Every man who becomes rich by competition throws down behind him the ladder by which he rises and keeps others down. But every man who gets rich by creation opens a way for thousands to follow him and inspires them to do so. You are not showing hardness of heart or an unfeeling disposition when you refuse to pity poverty, see poverty, read about poverty, or think or talk about it, or to listen to those who do talk about it. Use your willpower to keep your mind off the subject of poverty and to keep it fixed with faith and purpose on the vision of what you want. Chapter 10.
Okay. Matt, I think did you want to say something before I say anything?
Yeah, just because I have to go soon, so I won't be here for a while. But
Sure.
I was just telling these guys before we got on this that this is one of the most important of all of the chapters, and probably the one that I need to follow the most, like every time I read it, because one of the things that I tend to struggle with is like attention, right? So like going, this is where I want to be, and keeping on that path, because like new things will happen or things will come out or my attention will go over here or here. So it's like giving yourself that constant will and willpower to like chase after what you want and what you desire. It's like that old saying, right? It's like you have to know what you want. And that sometimes can be really, really hard, because you go, well, I want to be debt free, or I'd like to make more money. That's so broad to think about, right? So you have to kind of like sit down and go, what do I really want to be doing? Where do I want all my focus to be? And, you know, like I always just go back to personally journaling and like trying to figure out deep down, like what I'd like to be doing. And then focus my will on that every single morning in my morning routine next to gratitude, which I know that's something my dad teaches. And he taught me that. That's like and that's in the 6-phase meditation too, by the way. It's like envisioning all of this stuff and putting your focus onto it is so important. So, you know, I don't really have a lot to add because this is something I'm still practicing. But I just did want to share a little bit before I have to head out. So,
Well, thank you, Matthew, and thank
Thank
you
you.
for everything you're doing behind the scenes. I love and appreciate you, and go take care of my grandkids.
will do. Love you
Okay.
guys. Appreciate you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
You know, one of the things that I want to talk about in this chapter first, I think will surprise a lot of you because, again, I don't know how many times I've been through this and studied it. You know, I mean, hundreds of times. And I just continued to study it. And one of the things that I think is very unique is when it talked about you should not press your will upon another person. Now, I'm just going to throw some ideas out to you guys just for you to think about. Have you guys ever heard of this phrase called fear of loss? Or now the younger generation calls it FOMO, fear of missing out. Do you know how many people teach that? Is that putting ideas and thoughts in somebody's mind to sort of manipulate their willpower to do something? Like, if I were you, I'd make sure you place an order because, instead of getting 25%, you'll get 50%. And then there's people that will even take it further. Like if you don't come in at the highest amount, that they won't work with you. And then on top of that, there's all these sales techniques, and some people use manipulation in another way. It's called begging and crying and reaching out and giving someone like a guilt trip, Dana, remember I was there for you when you asked to move, and now I'm asking you to sign up and buy product from me. It's like, what kind of friend are you? You know what I mean? And how many people would think contests, promotions? There's a lot of things that people teach others to do in the sales realm to manipulate people against their will. Do you know what another feeling from somebody is as soon as they feel like they got manipulated? It's called buyer's remorse. So when you know that you did something, but it really wasn't your decision, like someone was playing with your emotions. I know none of you guys have ever experienced anything that I'm talking about. And so I just wanted to be very open to you guys that, building a business and looking forward and doing things should be a way of attracting everything that you need to come to you. And it will seem effortless, except do understand that when you're setting a new path for your new life, there's going to be things where I want you to imagine intention as a two-edged sword, right? And you're like a knight. And so as you're splitting your attention moving forward, you're going to see a lot of like miracles not only happen, but you're going to see a lot of signs and magic that happens because you're going the right direction. What freaks people out is the opposite side of that blade. You're seeing things move and change that have been a part of your life your whole life. And it's going to make you feel like are those friends going to disappear? Or is this way I'm doing stuff? It's like all of a sudden when you're focused in a direction that can betterment for you and mankind and your family and the people that you love, you're going to see stuff on the other side of the sword that's going to feel like you're losing what you already have. That's difficult. And some of that is your beliefs. I've always thought this way. I always believed that this kind of stuff is stupid and wooey or whatever. Like Corky brought up, this stuff's starting to sound like I'm opposing my will when what is God's will? You know what I mean? How many of you, I've actually heard people that have different beliefs is they're like, Lisa Marie, you can't just be saying that you're going to pull off Buddy's place. What if it's not God's will? Right? It's like, hey, listen, and then you find out that you're doing good. And then all of a sudden you find out that there's some people around you that are upset because now they look at you as competition. It's like I had the best petting zoo in the whole area. And then, Lisa and her husband goofed around and now no one's coming to my petting zoo anymore. People are weird. How many people agree that people are weird? All right. Is people doing people things. So changing your mind, let me tell you one part where it was difficult for me in understanding this. Someone said to me that I shouldn't be spending a majority of my time thinking about money. What are you talking about? I need money. It's like, I need money so bad. I need money to turn on my electricity, not get my car repoed. I'm got a quit or pay notice on my door. You know what I mean? It's like all day, every day, I'm thinking about money. So in this chapter, it talks about something else. It's like when all of a sudden, John F.K., John Kennedy, all of a sudden he says, we're going to be the first to walk on the moon. And in his famous speech, he knew for us to do that things that haven't been invented yet were going to be invented so we could make that trip. Do you guys realize when he made that speech, everything that we put into space that came back into space burnt up? So we had no problems getting things up there. But when they came back down, because their gravitational pull of the Earth actually heated them up so much, they burnt out. So we're going to get to the moon, and then we're going to come back with people in a capsule, and it's got to come back to Earth, and it can't burn up. Do you guys know that those shields were not invented? They didn't even know the material to make them out when Kennedy made that speech. How much faith and courage do you have to know that you're talking about stuff that hasn't been created yet? That things are going to have to push, like Henry Ford with the V8 motor. Listen, I seen the front of the cars not being as long as a house. I seen a short front end. You're going to have to find a way to put these cylinders not in line. They got to be in a V formation. And that's where the V8 came from. But all the engineers and scientists at that time said it couldn't be created. So he threatened their job. That would be fear of loss. If you don't do it, I'll find people that can do it. Right? So the time that I always thought about money, I have difficulty, a lot of difficulty. When I'm trying to find out how to get 1 million people to put them in a better place, I never have to think about money at all. Did you guys catch that? So I know the wisdom I possess put people in a better place. And once they decide to learn this knowledge and study this knowledge and apply it, and they start seeing it work on their life, then they spend a majority of their times, a lot of their time, sharing this wisdom with other people. And that's where the magic comes. So people are always looking at this and then trying to figure out how to turn this into money. Everybody's trying, well, you know, what's the exact thing? I share the science of getting rich, but when do I get them to become a free affiliate? When do I get them to buy product? And when do I get them to do the same thing I did to them? I'm just saying that thinking that way is going to stop this from happening. But if you have a bigger vision out there, like Buddy's place, and these are the resources we need to attract, then you just got to keep your radars up. And oh, by the way, you know, my husband and I are creating Buddy's place, and this is what it's going to be. And I have a way that you can actually help us make that happen by just switching your buying power. And if it's not for you, maybe you know somebody. See what I mean? It's like you get really good at, oh, I would like to do that. I would like to do that, instead of the fear of loss, instead of the begging. Again, you're pulling people into that vision. A vision is pulling you. So, and then the opposite of John F. K. would be someone that came on to our administration and they're going to do a war on something. So United States, their first thing, does anybody really know why we were in Vietnam? Does anybody really know why? I can tell you what the propaganda said, is that United States wanted to be the big guy that went out and got everybody away from communism. That we want to go out and not only, this is hard to say, but it's true, we'll go out and even fund people that will overthrow the government to put a right person in. Because we want everyone to have freedom. Are you guys following that? So then that seemed to work pretty good. So then we'll do a war on drugs. How is that working? The more war they put on it, the worse it is. When everyone's consciousness is trying to be against something, and people are going, well, we should have a war on drugs. I don't know. Is there an error way to make it happen? Because as soon as you put a war on something, like, you know, they did back in the Depression days, when all of a sudden they say, you know, you're not allowed to have alcohol anymore. Prohibition. That didn't work very well. All they do is push it into the hands of the people that are willing to make it happen anyway. And now it turns into something where it's bad, where your army's bigger than the police department and you kill them all. It doesn't seem to work very good. So there's always this war on something. And that makes everyone focus toward that. And when they're all focused on toward that, then what happens is it ends up making it better or worse. So I wanted to give you one example of, you know, our race to space with, you know, Kennedy as the president. Let's all focus. Let's all believe this can happen. Let's all beat everybody. A little bit of competitiveness. We want to get there before the other countries, Russia and China. And it's like, we'll create it. We'll find a way. We'll make it happen. To the other one where it's a war on something. See, do you think that the race to space was something that was creative or competitive? Isn't that interesting? And then you look at the war against drugs or the war against, it's funny because one of the ideas that I was thinking about the fear of loss is, remember when the 99 1% came out? It was like Occupy Wall Street, and everyone was upset at the wealthiest people on the planet. And people still don't get this, and this is not a political statement. But if a CEO's job is to make sure they're financially responsible, they got fiduciary responsibilities to make sure the stockholders make money. As soon as they get taxed more, they want production to stay up, so they just try to do it with less people. And everybody goes, no, 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 no. If we just tax them all, you know, they love money so much that they'll just hire more people. It's like, I don't know. It looks like you're doing a war against the 1%ers. That sometimes may or may not work out so well. All right. So there's my sort of thoughts on that. The last thing I'll share with you guys, and then we'll discussion, is that, man, when I'm looking, that's why I did that video today. I do Facebook Lives before I do this. When I'm excited and I'm looking forward to something, and that thing for me is helping more people make a bigger impact faster in more people's lives, I'm so excited about that. I have no problem with my willpower. I'm so jacked up out of creating and helping people that the will is not a problem for me. And that's why I'm so sensitive. If you ever see me say, hey, you know, doing these promotions and doing these things that are constantly trying to manipulate the people. It's funny. It's not by accident, you guys, that I'm doing this, you know, a day before my wife's birthday, which is a major sale for my wife was born on 4/20. All right. So that's pretty cool. And so our company does a major production. And get this, I know people that are, you know, the top 5 or 10 money earners in this company. And their promotion for the 20th, 22nd, 23rd, those 3 or 4 days, is all they do all year. Barb Miller and Judy Stallings will make 90% of their income in the next 3 days and then just take the rest of the year off. Now, some of you are going, that sounds like something I'd like to do. I like to just focus, but the inconsistency of income is some people don't have a lot in the bank. So they'll make profit tomorrow, sort of like Black Friday, but what are they doing for the other 11 months? There's got to be a way to build a little bit of consistency, right? Am I going to take advantage of the buy one, get one free? Oh, hell yeah. For Terry's birthday, we bought 20 bags of the gummies. 420, 20 bags. Yeah, there. Whenever she's not in a good mood, I just tell her to take a gummy. You know what I mean? Leave me alone, you know? So anyway, Greg, back to you. And I hope that was some great insight for you guys.
Absolutely it was. And Robert, thank you. And, you know, I love this chapter too. I mean, from both what you and Matt shared, it's incredible. But also what I love here is just the definition of will, and not like the verb of I will do it.
Right.
But will in the sense of, as it's defined, and I looked this up, the faculty of conscious and deliberate action, the power of control the mind over one's actions, and power in choosing one's own actions.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and at the beginning of this chapter, it talks about that. And this is what I really enjoy too. And especially when it comes to the visualization, what we say, what we do, how we say it, how we do it. You know, as it says, the more steady and continuous your faith and purpose, the more rapidly you will get rich, because you will make only positive impressions upon substance, and you will not neutralize or offset them by negative impressions. If you make that negative impression, then you are causing doubt. You are causing unbelief, as is certain to start a movement away from you, as faith and purpose are to start one moving toward you. Wow. That statement alone. And then it goes to, we've shared this one before too. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Henry Ford said that.
Right.
And it's up to us to not hard impress upon people, which is what what is being talked about in this chapter, but to impress upon people by sharing the information so that they can make their decisions, right or wrong, as to how they will go. And it makes me wonder why this is not even taught in schools, because
yeah.
to me, this inspires us to help others to become better people. And the more we inspire others to become better people, not necessarily wealth-wise, but mental-wise, the better people that we become and that we are, for inspiring the positivity, the rich, the wealthy. Actually, I'm going to say not so much that in the sense of the physical rich and wealth, but prosperity and abundance.
Yeah. Thank you, Craig. Right on the money. I agree.
So thank you for letting me share that, everyone. I appreciate that.
Yes, thank you.
All right. So before we start opening up to people who have their hands raised, thank you so much. And if you want to share, it's very simple. You put your cursor, those of you watching on Zoom, put your cursor in the middle of the screen. At the bottom, you'll see a bunch of buttons. One of them is reaction. Click on that button, and then another one will appear. You click on the one that says raise hand, and we will call on you to share what your feelings are about this chapter of The Science of Getting Rich, Chapter 9, How to Use the Will. I see right now we have Bill Shoemaker, Mary Martyr, Santa Corky, and Dana Scranton. Your hands are raised, so we will be calling upon you. Thank you so very much. Bill, let's go ahead and open up you and get you started. Please share with us.
Thank you, Craig. You were awesome. Thank you for that share. That was amazing. And Robert, what can I say? You're amazing too. So, Craig, how's Hugh doing, by the way? I always forget to ask you that.
I'm sorry, what?
Hugh?
Oh, me's doing great. Thank you.
Hugh Jackman. Oh. I had to say that. I thought about that. I wonder. No, he's probably not related. Anyway.
I don't know. I know I have relatives down in Australia, but
hey,
it could be like fourth, fifth, sixth cousin.
So this is big for me too. I love what Matt shared because it's always been big for me because it's my name, Will.I.am, William. So I've always had a great will, but it was not God's will. I've come to realize that it wasn't coincidence. Today I got a download from the universe that said, call my daughter. She's a respiratory therapist at a local hospital, and her husband, Robert, is a mechanic, and he loves his job. He's like a master mechanic. I don't know, he went to school and all that stuff. But my point is, and I asked her, I said, so he loves his job. And I said, do you love your job? And she said, well, some of the times. I go, what do you mean? She goes, well, it all depends if I'm working in the adult section or the children's section.
Yeah.
Right. I go, so you mean the adults, they've got all the baggage and they've already been ruined. And you go, exactly. Go, the kids, they're just beautiful, So it kind of touched me, and it gave me more of a why, because I want to spend more time with my children. And the thing with them is they're so busy. I mean, they're making good money, but they don't have time. They don't have time to do anything. So what if I could get her position where all she had to do was work with children? So
I love that idea.
yeah, it just got to me in my heart. So my will is really, like you said, I don't have to worry about it now. I know what I want. So thank you for that, brother. Appreciate
You're
that.
welcome.
Yeah.
I love that. When you start thinking about helping others, it really, life is so simple. Life is very, very simple when you're thinking on how could you make other people's lives better, and no attachment. I think that, that whole thing, I'd like to help you, and there's no strings attached, and you'll find out that people, if you help them, that they'll be there for you. You know what I mean? And it's like, but yeah, figuring out things that we need to do for others has always been my motivation. So Bill, thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you so much, Bill. Mary Martyr, I see your hand up. Yes, go ahead, unmute yourself, please, and please share.
How is everybody doing?
Wonderful.
Yes, fantastic. Robert Hollis,
Yes, ma'am.
I have to thank Jay Clark because at convention in November in Orlando, he's 2 levels down from me. And he says to me, "Do you know Robert Hollis?" And I said, "Well, I know the name, but I don't know him." And he says, "Oh, let me introduce you." And I shook. I go, "What?" And I had your book, okay? And I thought, is this really happening?
Ah, you're so
Did
sweet.
you autograph it? Yes, you did. Okay, so I joined October 2018.
Holy cow.
Okay, under one of the ladies that you mentioned earlier. And I've always felt like the second cousin, okay, you're here, what do I do with you kind of thing?
Right.
Because that person's focus is only on selling, manipulating, making money. Now, I'm a retired special ed teacher of 32 years.
God bless you.
I've taught students with absolutely 0 IQ strapped head to feet in their wheelchair, all the way to IQs that were so high that couldn't be measured. So I've done the whole gamut of special ed. That's the kind of person I am. So November at convention, I meet this guy, Robert Hollis. My whole life has changed. I'm finally home. So
Thank you so much.
I'm a little dense. I'm on my 15th reading. I enjoy every word. I start rereading this, I get different aha moments. So, and I have the date written on here, April 8th. So instead of all the money that I give to charities, and I have 4 that have been very important to me over the years. So instead of doing that, my purpose for getting rich is to buy hundreds, if not thousands, of this book.
Yeah.
Now, I am shaking like a leaf because the energy that is exploding inside me right now and has been since I wrote this April 8th, and I have it taped to my computer. So one of my favorite charities is Palm Beach County's Farm Workers Coordinating Council.
Okay.
And they also have an education piece to their assistance in training for the farm workers. So when I get my tax refund, I will be buying at least 10 of these, wrapping them as a present, bow and everything, nice little note inside. I will be taking them to the Farm Workers Coordinating Council. Okay, the director and I are good friends. I mean, after all, I've given so much money. Why wouldn't he be my friend?
Right.
And I'm going to volunteer reading this book to the migrant workers, the farm workers in my county that keep me fed. And we'll have our discussions. And that's how I'm going to start. But I actually envision this. Well, I can't because I have this physical brain is very limited. But my mind is like just exploding on how I can help people help themselves if they have the ears that hear,
Yes.
eyes that see. Thank
Well,
you.
Mary, I agree with you in that mission. And, I've always found that, we all hear that, if you tell people your personal story before you give them the book, if they get to hear your personal story and how that book has impacted and helped you, that's when people will read the book. A lot of times what people do is if they don't understand as they're sharing this with people and they're just saying, hey, I just wanted to give you something. That doesn't work. You know what I mean? So when I share it with people, as I say, hey, listen, during an extremely difficult time in my life, I was introduced to a gentleman that introduced me to this book. And it changed everything in my life.
Let me just, what I'm going to say right now, very few people have ever heard these words. February 2015, my mother passed of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's.
I'm sorry.
Me were. Why are you still alive? I should have killed you a long time ago. This book has helped me find my purpose and my worthiness. And I am 72 years young, and I'm just getting started.
Amen. Amen, man. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it did the same thing for it did the same thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
I always talk about the two books that, changed my belief about myself that no one can take away. It's like when you establish and help people establish, yes, when you help people establish that within themselves, so they feel like they're enough, they feel like they're worthy, and oh my, you're unstoppable. You're totally unstoppable because now you're running like in an energy field of positive and joy and looking forward instead of being the doom and gloom that everybody else has in their life. Right now, my wife and I, it was weird. It was like to show you how human we are, and we're all people, right? It's like we needed to do some stuff on the Escalade today. It had a couple of recalls on it. And so, we're about 30 minutes away from town. So, I'm following her and we get there. And as soon as I pull in, it's crazy because there's this guy named Joe that I've known him forever. I was a mechanic in Billings, Montana. And so this guy's been in the auto industry and I knew him back then.
Wow.
You guys imagine probably, 37 years ago, 38 years ago. And so I walk in and the very first thing he said is he goes, "Don't you get an Escalade like every 2 years?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Do you know how much dealerships like this love you?" He goes, "You got a brand new Escalade with everything on it, and it's got 7,000 miles on it." And he goes, "You hardly put any miles on your vehicle." And I go, "I don't have anywhere to go. My wife is the one that's going to town." And I'm going like, how's things going? And he went, well, you see the lot. There was like hardly any cars in the lot. There was one car that was sitting in the showroom. And I was the only one in the service department. And he said to me, he goes, man, when people have to tighten their belt, thinking about getting their car worked on is something they put off. And I went, yeah, I remember that. He goes, how do you remember that? And I said, it was busy, always busy right before summertime. But no one got their car worked on in April while they were doing taxes. And he goes, I never noticed that there are ups and downs in this industry. I said, of course there is. How many people get their car worked on right before Thanksgiving? I got Thanksgiving and Christmas to think about, New Year's. I'm not getting my car worked on right now. I'll wait until the end, until the year's over. And I go, do you remember when we just used to get flooded? And he goes, oh my God, we always get flooded right after the New Year's. I said, yeah. It's like, now I put things off. I better get my car fixed. And so he goes, how do you stop the economic times from changing your life? And I go, Joe, it's 1000% mindset. It's all mindset. I said, do you know that during the Great Depression that there was more millionaires made that year per capita than any other years? So there's only really two groups of people. Is like, oh my God, this sucks. And then the other person is, I'm tired of this sucking. There's only two groups of people that are like, I need to figure out something different. If people are choking down on their money right now, it's like, if they don't want to spend any money, what should I focus on? Focus on teaching them the mastery of this book, and that thoughts are things, and that they can go out and earn income regardless of what's happening. This industry has always been recession proof. It's not going to be recession proof for people that focus on product sales.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are seeing that right now. There's a lot of companies that are restructuring and going bankrupt. And did you guys, Avon announced that this is their last year.
Wow.
Tupperware's looking for financing right now, and if they don't, they're going to file bankruptcy. Mary Kay, Amway is gone down by $900 million from last year. There's people right now that are thinking one way, and they won't change the way they think. They won't change what their wheel is. They won't change what they focus on. How many of you guys know people that are like, well, it's always been this way? See, thoughts are things. That's the most dangerous phrase in the world. This is the way things always happen. So you can get people to want to feel better by sharing them that you're feeling better.
Mm-hmm.
So the worse finances get, the worse the economy, the more the propaganda and the stuff that's out there that's trying to pollute everyone's mind that, hey, let's just see if we can stay alive until this thing ends.
You know what? I'm sorry. Out of the clear blue sky today, and this is happening at a more rapid pace, like every day, Robert. A couple of people, random people, Facebook or wherever, and they'll say to me, you are such a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. You'll have people reach out to you and just go, listen, I know that there's people right now on the planet that are making an impact. They're happy and they're fulfilled. and money's not an issue in their life. I
Right.
need to figure out what the heck these people are doing.
Right.
And those are the ones that usually struggle the most, because when they reach out to me and I go, well, the first thing you got to do is, what do you want? Tell me what you want. I don't know. That's a problem. You can't tell me all the things you don't want. You can't tell me, well, I don't want this, and I don't want this, and I don't want this. Everything that you just listed is what everybody else doesn't want. It's like, focusing on things that you don't want to happen in your life is why they happen in your life.
Mhm.
You're not one of those people, are you? One of the happy people that are not worrying about money, they're living the best times in their lives. One of those people? Yeah, I'm that guy. I'm that guy. So, Mary, thank you very much. I love and appreciate you. Thank you for
Thank
sharing.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Craig.
Mary, thank you so very much. We got people with their hands raised. We're getting to you slowly but surely. Thank you so much. But it's this masterminding, this discussion, this sharing that is so incredible. And that's what makes this Mastering the Science of Getting Rich so good. I know, Dana, you had mentioned I think it was yesterday that, this is so much better than the one that was done a couple of years ago. And I agree. We are in the right moment at the right time right now to talk about this and to make things better and better and better. For those of you watching on YouTube, please don't forget to like and share this and subscribe to our channel. We appreciate it. There's lots of things that we have to share here on with Robert Hollis, and roberthollis.com/YouTube, or YouTube, was it youtube.com/@ Robert Hollis. Either way, please make sure that you do subscribe. And for those of you watching on Zoom, please subscribe too if you haven't done so already. We appreciate you. So I see we've got Quirky, and we've got Mary and Karen and Dana with their hands up. Corky Kinter, or should I say Santa Corky, please unmute yourself and share.
Hi there. Thank you. Thank you. This for me was a real breakthrough today. And I've already read this a few times. But just on this this Zoom call, I went, poop, something just happened, because
Yeah.
I've always struggled with what's God's will in my life since I've been turned my life over to God. So as for us Christians, I think for me, I'll speak for myself, is that I'm always, is this God's will? Am I supposed to be doing God's will? What's God's will? And I'm always seeking for God's will, where I'm finding out that he puts the desires on my heart
Amen.
to go in a direction. And my will has always been, get me that job, or get me that deal, or if I can do this, Lord, I made deals with God, because it was always about, 60 grand a year, or, stuff like that. It was all centered around my little world, where
Right.
the breakthrough is that God puts things on our heart. And I just had another reflection earlier while we were talking is, and I don't mean to say this to impress you, okay? It's to impress upon you how this stuff really works. Is now I get to look back in February 22nd of last year, I started this TikTok thing, and then it started really going, and I went, wow, I think I could hit 1 million people. I think I could hit 1 million. And I kept thinking about that. What's it going to be like to hit 1 million? When I hit 1 million, what kind of stuff am I going to do? Because when you hit certain levels in your, like, YouTube gives you a plaque when you get your 100,000, things like that. So as a creator, that's what you do. You kind of set those. I already dreamed of what I was going to do. On TikTok, there's a thing where you tap on the screen and it sends hearts and it tells you how many people have done that. And I would get 1 million hearts sent in the hour and a half I would be on, 1 million. So then we went to 2 million. then they go, we can break that. I said, can we? Let's do it. We can break it. And then we went to 10 million in one live, 10.5, I think 10.2 million hearts sent out there because we thought about it and we went for it. We saw it happening. And that's just a flashback from what has happened already, which confirms in my heart that this stuff really can happen.
Yeah,
I have some pretty wild dreams out there. And it's for children, it's for the orphans, it's for the kids, it's for the kids in the hospital. But I could go into those dreams, but you probably think I'm crazy, but it's a huge Santa dream for children to bring smiles to people out there. And it's I don't want to go into it right now, but I'm learning. The other part is I'm journaling, I'm writing a couple of things down. I don't have my perfect day put together yet. I don't have, and I've been thinking, well, I'm so far behind because I know all these other people do, but I don't. But I'm trying to figure this out because I'm separating what I thought my will would be here, but no, it's way over here and it's much bigger. It's huge compared to
if you're daydreaming, and dreaming at night about the impact you're going to make on another human being, that's God's will. That's God's will. People try to figure out God's will, and it's as simple as this: is God is love.
Oh yeah.
End of story.
Oh yeah.
So if you love helping and changing kids' lives, as you were saying that, Corky, the thought that popped to me was Santa 24/7.
I don't get what you mean. Santa 24/7. I didn't quite get it.
It's like I'm thinking about all day, every day, putting smiles on children's faces.
Oh, I do. I go to the store.
Yeah. So now that's where that's your next step. And thank you, Corky, for sharing that. How many of you could feel Corky's enthusiasm and excitement when he said that? And I think that every one of you, I read an old post that I did years ago. And if you really want to step into the best you, really take the time to think of the highlights of your life. The highlights that you pulled off in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you think about the highlights in your life, and it's like they'll come to you and you're not even campaigning for them, which is bizarre because you're so focused. I mean, I didn't even know there was a Hall of Fame. Is there a way for you to go out and sort of find a bunch of people to cheer for you and put you on the Hall of Fame? The thing that's pretty unique about the Hall of Fame is that the Hall of Fame, the only way you can get inducted into it is people that are already in it induct you into it. You know what I mean? So if you're saying, I'd like to be on the Network Marketing Hall of Fame, and you go back there and you look at the 180 so people that are in there, and you don't even know how to reach out to the people that are on that list, instead of, wow, I didn't know this was this. Hey, Eric Worre, it's Robert Hollis. I hope this message finds you and yours blessed. I just found out that Ted has a Hall of Fame and I need to be nominated by someone of your caliber. Is there any way you could do me a huge favor and do that? And it's like, you should have been in there before me.
Right.
That's a nice thing for someone to say that you're reaching out to. So I thought it would be funny if I just reached out to more than two. It was my way of reaching out saying, hey, but Corky, you got greatness in you, you do. And when you share that, how you hit 1 million and how you hit 10 million hearts, now it's time to do that all the time. It really, really is just, so that you're generating the cash flow that you can really do some. I still look at Mr. Beast and I'm like, it just mind-boggling for me. If you guys go look at Mr. Beast, put in Mr. Beast on YouTube. This guy, they estimate right now makes between $2 and $4 million a month. And all he does is give the money away.
Mhm.
So money comes in and it goes right back out. Money comes in and it goes right back out. Money comes in. He does these things where he'll walk up to people and say, hey, can I show you something? And he opens up a briefcase and it's got $100,000 in it. And he says, do you want to take the 100,000, or would you like to give it to the next person that I walk up to, and they'll get double? Now, other people are doing this right now, but they're doing it with $20. So you got to start someplace. So you walk up and go, I felt led to give you $20. Do you want to take the $20, or would you like to pass it on and give it forward? The next person I go to, I'll give 40. And just keep doing that. And you really honestly see when people are giving, how many people say, let it go to the next person. So, in the midst of all this craziness we see out there, there's still some people that are thinking about other people. You know what I mean? It's like, so Corky, I really love and appreciate you, man. Thank you for sharing that. That gave me chills.
Thank you.
Corky, thank you so very, very much. Mary Valchik. Okay, I know you're hiding from us right now, but we would love to see you. There you are. Okay. So please go ahead and unmute yourself and share with us.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, Mary, how are you?
I am very, very well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have a statement and then kind of a question for you. So,
Please.
We've talked many times, and that from the books you've told me to read and the 6-phase meditation and the God memorandum, that things have already started to change. And again, I am forever grateful for that. And
so proud of you.
And it's awesome. And I do, as you were talking earlier, I do kind of pay it forward when I can, meaning, I remember I was in line at I think it was Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks, one of them. And I see this woman behind me in my rear view mirror, and she's talking and her hands are going, and she looks like she's not having a good day at all. So when I get up to line, I said, I paid for hers, and I said, please tell her I hope she has a good day. And I do that often, just, trying to make somebody's day. Anyways, my point, this chapter has been kind of tough for me. And I am probably one of the most positive people there are. But I struggle every once in a while with negativity around me, meaning, so I feel like I'm almost like an empath, because sometimes when I must have something across my forehead that says, tell me your life story and all your problems. because people that I don't know or I've just met will look at me and just spew out all of their problems and whatever. And I, take it in. And I just walk away like just exhausted and just drained. And I guess, how do you kind of deal with that? Do you know what I'm kind of saying?
Yeah. The one thing is, the first thing you got to do is think about things that put you on cloud 9.
Okay.
What is something that you could do that puts you on cloud 9? So when I did the video today, I was talking about looking forward to something. So when I run into someone that's like, they're just bearing their soul to me and it's very, very negative, I'm looking forward to doing that thing that puts me back on cloud 9.
That makes sense.
So in my mind, it'd be like, okay, if I get to listen to all this, I get some, chocolate German cake with coconut. You know what I mean? It's like, yes. it's like I mentally have to be there with them, but I'm also got to recharge my battery when I get done.
Exactly.
And that's part of the will as well.
Interesting.
So it's not that I want to avoid hearing people's negativity and their problems and the things that they're going through, because
Right.
that's exactly what I've been called to do.
Yes, I
See?
agree.
I'm called to do that. So a lot of people are constantly going, well, how do you stay positive if you have someone that's dumping negative stuff on you? It's really simple. It's the thought that you're not taking their negative stuff, you're helping them change their perspective so that they don't have to be negative anymore.
And maybe you're meant to take their negative stuff because God knows that you or I can deal with it. And it's a way for them to feel better by putting that negativity or giving that negativity to me, because I can handle it, get rid of it, and just move on. Okay.
Yeah. And Mary, a lot of people most people are just alone. And they don't have anyone to share with. They don't have anyone to listen to.
Yeah.
And so you can't look at that, or you shouldn't look at that as because what I'll do with people like that is that's when you really got to be tapped into your intuition, because there's part of your ego, part of your mind that will want to tell them how you can help them. When usually you're listening to them, and as you're listening to them, you're going, oh my God, this person is dealing with the same stuff I am. I'm listening to a negative person, and I'm telling them what they should do to not be negative and turn it around, but I'm not doing what I'm teaching this person to do. So sometimes I tell people it's like the universe or God, whatever you want to believe, sending you people to confront you with your own things that you should be doing.
And make you aware.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. And so when people come to me, it's not only that I know that people need someone to listen to them,
Right.
and really, really listen to them, to not be distracted, because that's rare. If you can learn that listening skill, 2 ears and 1 mouth,
Yep.
If you're just a good listener, what is the aspect of actually believing that when you're listening to them, that it's not robbing you of your energy?
Interesting. It feels like it is, because a lot of times they walk away and they feel better.
Of course
So
they do.
For
Of
me,
course they do.
I just
But it's not.
feel drained.
It's not. See, mentally, we're told that if we listen to someone that's dumping on us with negativity, that it changes our state. And I have been there when my ego gets in the way. When my ego gets in the way, and I'm telling them, hey, Mary, listen, how long has that been working for you? You know what I mean? And I'm trying to be a person instead of listening. I'm not following my instincts and the uttering and the guidance and the help from someone that I already asked to help me and surrender all. So sometimes that's silence. Sometimes that's, giving them little projects to do. You know what I mean? So when I hear someone, I'm going, man, and always acknowledge. So when people say something to me, I will say, if it's real, I'll say, I totally understand the way you feel. I totally understand. And I might say some short story, and then I give them an outcome. So you guys will hear me say, when my mentor constantly would hear me doing the victim thing because of my childhood, constantly bringing up things that I can't do. You know what I mean? That's when he told me about this assignment. You know what I mean? Because as soon as he got me to do that assignment, now it's not him lecturing me. He would say, well, what do you think the greatest miracle in the world in Ogmandino would say about that?
Ooh.
And I would go, you're right. I'm not being grateful enough. I'm not being grateful enough. So when's the last time you read the book? Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, me too. Me too. I get off track and then I go back on track. I get plugged back in to the source and that changes it for me. So the way that you can pull yourself out of the negativity while listening to people is talking about the moments that made you positive.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
I
Perfect.
have never,
Thank you.
ever said that in any training. That was for you and
Thank
other
you.
people. So, so much stumping on you. Like I said to Melody, you got to be careful about the garbage truck going beep, 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 backing up to dump their stuff on you. But that's after the first conversation. See, the first conversation is, I totally understand how you feel. I've been there. Here's my short story of I've been there, and this is how I got out. And since I started practicing that, that's been able to take me out of that. So now, if you and I have a conversation 3 days from now, and Mary's going right back into the sinkhole, right? I'm going, so Mary, did you read the book? Did you get the book? I forgot. I was really busy that day. and see, this is where you can be very, very kind and say, Mary, the difference between you and I is I didn't like feeling that way anymore.
Exactly.
That's why I went and got the book right away. So I really can't, I really can't be your, person that you just dump on, because you're not willing to make the steps to change that.
Exactly.
So Melody would have people that would do the assignment, but then, Melody was really good at keeping coaching clients because she would listen to them, but all they would call her for is just to dump on her.
To dump on her. Gotcha. It's funny because in my corporate job, and I'll end here, but in my corporate job, one of the things that when friends would ask a question, they'd have a problem and we'd give them their advice. And we said, look, these are some options. If you choose not to follow it, you can't complain anymore.
It's true.
and
it is so true. It's like someone pulling over to you and saying, listen, I'm looking for this one restaurant. And I'm going, well, listen, the restaurant is you go up here and you hang a left and it's about 2 blocks down on the left-hand side. And they go, okay. And then you watch them go up to the intersection and hang a right. And you're like,
okay.
You just stand there and all of a sudden, here they come up again. And they're going like, I haven't been able to find the restaurant. And I'm going like, really? Are you surprised by this? Show me your left hand.
Oh.
It's like, if you go, they go, I'm sorry. I'm just frustrated. I'm overwhelmed. Don't everybody use the same words? I'm confused. I'm frustrated. I'm overwhelmed. This doesn't make sense. This seems so difficult. And you go, listen, you're all right. Just take a breath. And then they go up to the intersection and hang another right. And you just, wow, what did Jim Rohn? See, Jim Rohn, one of my mentors, had 2 statements behind that. And I didn't like either one of them until I became a mentor. I became a coach. So now people are like, why does this happen to me? And it's like, that's really interesting.
Robert, thank you so much. As always, that makes perfect sense to me. And awesome. Basically take it on and think of my happy place. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love and appreciate you.
You as well. Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you so much, Mary. Appreciate that. Yes, that's what's that is the incredible thing about these masterminds.
Hey, I'll say something very quick before we go to the next person. Here's when you're human, right? Every time we do these masterminds, the amount of wisdom and foresight and direction and guidance and help you get for them is priceless. At the same time, do any of you, and you don't have to raise your hand so we can all laugh together, but at any time while going through these masterminds, you're like, how long is this going to take? how long is this going to take? How long is this person going to talk? Oh my God, geez, you know, do they have like a time limit on this thing or something like that? It's like, imagine being in front of someone that you knew had all the answers to every question you had. And you're like, listen, I have a couple questions. It's like, let's go. But, you know, I got an appointment in 10 minutes. Hey, Freddie, I got a question for you, but I got 5 minutes. You know what I mean? It's like, you don't want the answer to this question. It's like they dictate they dictate to you how much time it should take for you to get your point across. See, that's a real seeker of wisdom, isn't it? And I'm human. So I'm on these and it goes past the hour. It gets close to, you know, an hour and a half. And I'm going like, oh my God, you know, but I'll stay here all day. But I'm just telling you guys, we're talking about these little voices. We call them dinos. And the Flintstones. How many people remember Dino and the Flintstones? You know, those voices are always coming at us all the time, and you can ignore them or laugh at them. All right. So I don't want Dana waiting too late. So we got to hurry up and get these 2 questions done very quickly. I won't elaborate so we can finish in 9 minutes.
All right, let's get rolling.
I was joking.
Okay.
Because people were thinking that. Thinking, you know, so. Well, you got to be careful. Sometimes I'll get you.
Yeah, you just did. Well, all right, just some little behind the scenes things, people. Robert and I kind of know how we communicate with each other just by how we say things, in addition to the chat. And so I got to make sure, you know, if he has to leave, like the other day,
yeah,
you know, he said, okay, I got to be out of here in an hour and a half. So we cut it right there at an hour and a half. So that's why I jumped in like I did just now.
Now we know.
So, all right.
And honestly, so we could bring this up, people would have to watch every one of them to know that you and I do this. But we will tell you up front if there's a time restriction. You know what I mean? We'll just tell you up front. It's like, listen, you know, we got other things to go, so you can slot your time as well. But when you're in the master's mind, some of you can take that for whatever you want. But, you know, they say where two are among us, there's a third in the midst, right? So how many is there in the midst if there's 25 in there? just got huge chills. If there's 25 people watching this on Zoom, how many people are watching it on YouTube? And so in the midst of all those minds, there's apparently a lot of other minds. Okay, helping us solve this. So go, Craig.
Fantastic. Karen, your hand is up. John, you're up next. And then Dana, we still got you. Thank you so much. Karen, go ahead, open up, unmute yourself, and please share.
Hi, everybody. You see me?
Yep, we can see you.
It's
you got
my
a
Dino.
little unicorn there?
Yes, I got it at the hospital where my husband finished his last cardiac appointment, and I always get a little mascot. And this little girl, she's actually a leopard in disguise. She's
a leopard unicorn.
Yes, and it just so happens when I was drawn to that at the gift shop, and this was like 2 weeks ago. I have 2 stuffed animals precious from my childhood. One is a rabbit that's 71 years old. I'm 72. I still have the rabbit, Rabby.
Wow.
And the second one is a leopard, a stiff, small leopard, and his name is Spotty. And so why do I start with that? Well, I love animals, and happy birthday to Terry. You all have a great day tomorrow, very much so.
I appreciate that.
Well, I got on here the last time and I said that I had all these zooming thoughts coming at me as to what kind of a mission statement did I have. And yesterday, when you talked about, what are you really, really focused on? And I thought all the zooming stuff coming in at me, I mean, it was giving me options and giving me ideas of things to move forward to that really would resonate. Dr. Dana said, does something resonate with you? What
Right.
fits? So I am leaving tomorrow, going on an RV thing with hubby. We're going to NASCAR Talladega. Camping. Dang. So I probably will miss you the next couple of days, but I want to come on fairly quickly here and say that after so many great organizations that just grabbed my heart, I was very, very close. And it doesn't mean you can't do more charities, but I'll say my runner-up charity was the Best Friends Animal Society. And it's still something you can do. And I picked these because I'm not going to build an animal sanctuary in my backyard. We're too darn old to do that stuff, but we want to go do other things for other people who are established, due diligence,
Karen,
and
that's wonderful. And I'll tell you, you think about this little thing, Karen. This is where, I was sharing with my wife. The reason that my wife, even though we have so much land to do it on, my wife will never do that kind of work because she can't allow any of the pets to leave.
I know, that's the same way. I can't even go into a shelter. I'd be crying, taking them all home with me. I can't do it. I have to.
So
Terry,
yeah,
love you, Terry girl.
Now you get that. So the deal is Terry wants to go there, volunteer time, and then give them money. Now think about this. People are wondering how Mr. Beast got so big. Imagine you and your hubby going to some kind of animal sanctuary, shelter, whatever. Not only volunteering your time, but you're videotaping it. And then you also videotape whatever you can give. Whatever you can give. Then people that see that video,
they're going to donate. They're going to donate on their own. They don't have to buy a product from me. I'm promoting these charities. If they want to buy a product, I'm happy about that. But I want to share these charities.
That is the key right there. And if you guys don't notice it, Karen, going to an Indy track, a racetrack, Talladega. If you guys have ever seen a race car driver interviewed afterwards, it's like, hey, you just won the race. Yeah, I first want to thank Napa Chevrolet. Yes. I want to thank, John Tier's barbecue wings. And, it's like, man, they wouldn't be there if it wasn't for their sponsors.
Yes.
And so people really have a difficulty with this, and you got to get over that because these people, they're doing what they love, and they're doing podcasts. And people, the podcasts, I think it's so cool that people will actually say this out loud. They'll say, all right, Karen, thank you very much. I always love talking to you. You just been amazing. And everyone knows that we do have to cover the bills here today. So this segment has been sponsored by Fiji Water. Fiji Water, and it's like, I don't know why, because advertisers are losing money like crazy in the old world of media. And so if there's something that you believe in, every one of these movies on Netflix have what is called product placement. Your goal is not to figure out how to get rid of it. Your goal is to have it help you support your impact.
Well, and that's exactly it's right. And there's so much so I'll just, if you want to look it up, I'm not doing the sponsorship for it yet, but the Best Friends Animal Society Against No Kills, they have a sanctuary out in Utah. They have different cities they're sponsoring and everything like that. But you know, they find so many different ways. If you want to send a card, you want to do something for your animal who passed, and they have a memorial place. They have regular Zooms. They're so well thought of by the people who support them, and they have our ambassadors and stuff. But that one really tugged at my heart. I cannot go to my local animal shelter. No, I can't do that.
Yeah. You that's the deal, is constantly coming up with creative ideas that will do what you want to do. And so,
and can I say the number one, and I went back to, there's a lot of RVers that have their own YouTube channels, and I went back to two of my favorites. They're military veterans, Navy, they're full timers. So I went back to their channel, and 2 years ago they did a giving away keys to veteran, and the name of it is Homes for Our Troops, HFOT. And this organization's been around for 12, 13 years, all well, this and that. And they have corporate, they have this, they have that, but they have individual sponsorships. But post 9/11 veterans who come back who are seriously wounded, they are building adaptive homes. And this is something that transitions also for my husband and I, who we were in the military. My husband was in the combat zone. He came back whole in 2001. But us as veterans now, of 10 years past this 9/11 thing, we're doing adaptive things to our home, but we don't have the critical needs that they have. But we're going to be sharing and learning how to do things that we can do for ourselves, and to have that book to share with people that are rebuilding their lives with whatever dreams they have when they have a home that is the funding and all this other kind of stuff. And the president of that corporation happens to have graduated from West Point the same year I was commissioned as a commissioned officer in 1976. So it ties back in. This is from the dreaming. Dreaming.
Absolutely. I thank you and your husband for your service, and man, thank you for sharing that, because the more that we share ideas of trying to figure out how to best, honestly, how to make an impact and feel good.
They're big support. It's big support, and this is done in the U.S. It's not an international thing, but learning different ways. You can have a golf tournament, have a puppy parade, all different ways to do fundraising. Bring your puppy, and the best costume wins, and whoever gets this or that, we're giving stuff. And they say the smallest donation is appreciated. They don't say, if you're a fundraiser, you have to have XYZ. But
thank you, Karen. Thank you very much.
But I'll probably miss you guys. I'll probably be catching replays while we're at the track.
We'll miss you.
Oh, and I'll be taking some videos and stuff like that. But everybody, I really appreciate this whole group. So good. And let's go out and see my driver, Chase Elliott, win. Number 9, Hendrick.
He's going to be back in the seat. So that's going to be
was good. Back. Yeah, he's back.
All right, guys. Love you, Karen. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much, Karen. John Tier, Mr. Barbecue Man. I love that. You didn't know it, John, but you're going to get business started, right?
Right. John's the only guy I know that can play piano and eat wings at the same time.
Okay. Wow. There are some things that kind of went on while we were talking, and we were talking about the will. Corky, I got something for you, man, because when I was a younger Christian, used to struggle with the same thing. Well, what is God's will for me? Well, and everybody was trying to tell me what God's will was for me. And I came across a book by John MacArthur, and it was called God's Will Found. And the crust of that book was so that if it was not written, thou shalt not, then you're free to do what you choose to do.
Oh, wow. That's deep.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was very freeing to me once I read that. I was like, oh, I don't have you can't tell me what I need to do. If it's not against what he says don't do, I'm free to choose to do what I want to do. So that was very, very freeing to me, you know.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John. I always thought, you know, I remember growing up and trying to learn all this stuff that, you know, that everyone's trying to teach you. And I remember I said, isn't there a scripture that said God gave you free will?
Exactly.
And they go, oh yeah. And I said, so later on in some of the other chapters, he changed his mind?
Yeah, right. And, or the other thing is, if God has a will for me, why it's so mysterious? Why it's so mysterious? Why can't I?
So these biblical scholars have a difficult time with me because I'm simple. I always am simple. And so I go, someone will say, well, let me tell you exactly the way it is, you know, especially if a religion's trying to convert me, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I'll say to him, I said, now listen, I can't give you the scripture. I just know that there's a part in there that says, lean not on your own understanding. And I said, so as I get older, the more I try to figure out, the more I have questions. I said, I got more questions now than I ever have had in my life. And I said, so I just need you to know that you and I are going to have a little bit of a difficulty if you tell me that you heard from someone that you actually know. You actually know when it says in the scripture, lean not on your understanding, but yet you found someone that knows.
Mm-hmm.
I said, so just understand when you start telling me, well, we know this because blah, 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 my mind's going to shut off. Because what you're doing is you're giving me either your or somebody else's interpretation.
Yeah.
Of what these words and sequence mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that usually stops the conversation. I said, so as you and I start talking and debating on which belief is best, understand you're coming from the position that you already know, and I'm coming from the position where I don't. So it's not going to be a debate here. I'm just going to try to challenge you a little bit and go, you know, I don't know if that's the way that you actually should read that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, John, thank you for sharing that for Corky. Did you have something else?
Yeah. For Mary, I know exactly what you're talking about. When I studied biblical counseling, when there are people who will come up to me, total strangers, I can be sitting on a train and they'll just start talking to me.
Yeah.
You know, and they'll start telling me things. And at first I thought it was really weird. Why is this people talking to me? Until I found out that it was part of my anointing. And that's what people are attracted to, your anointing. This is why they're talking to you.
Yeah.
And so, and if you're still, God will give you exactly what to say to that individual every single time. Yep. And I mean, total strangers. When I came down to Dallas, it was interesting because I sat next to a guy who was a pastor. And, you know, we just started talking. And by the time we got off the plane, he was like, man, I feel so encouraged. I just really, really feel encouraged. And on the way back, I found some other people who were doing the same thing. And so, but I know that that's part of my anointing now. At first, I didn't know. I know that I'll be able to speak life into people. And wherever they are, it doesn't really matter. God will give me the things to say to them and they will be uplifted. And God will give you the things to say to a person, whatever the circumstance or situation is, and you will uplift them, you know, and you don't have to struggle to try to guess what to say or anything. Just let it come in and listen for the Spirit. He will whisper things, and some things that will come out of your mouth. You have to look back and say, wow, where did that come from?
Yeah.
You know, that's what it is. You have the anointing and people are attracted to that.
Yep.
And the last thing I wanted to say was that what a world this is going to be for this remnant. God talks about having a remnant. What a world it is going to be, because we're going to touch so many lives based on this mastermind and based on the things that we're learning. We're going to change some things, and certain parts of the world are going to be looking at where did those people come from? And they're doing so many things because of this mastermind here. It's more than just learning how to get rich. It's learning how to enrich our lives and enrich other people's lives as well.
Enrich is a great word, John.
Yeah, so
Enrich
that's it for me.
Great word. John, thank you so much. I wanted to say one quick statement. Do you guys know that I just went to Google and I put how many times is rich in the Bible? And it says more than 800 times.
Okay.
Wow.
Mhm.
And then 88 Bible verses about rich.
Yeah.
It's like, so there's a lot of stories in the Bible and other beliefs, but it always seems to be the people that seek that creator first that was given everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I always tell people, you know, my interpretation of the Old Testament versus the New Testament is the New Testament, as Jesus just basically said, don't put anyone before my Father and love everyone like you love yourself.
Absolutely.
And I always took that verse as, well, what if I don't love myself? Then you better figure out the way God thinks of you.
Yes.
Not what other people think about you.
Right.
Because, you know, God looks at you as a creation, and your gift back to that creator is what you do with your life.
Absolutely.
The people that you impact, you know, and I know this sounds wild, but I always tell people all the time that the vision that I was given, you know, and I know that this is not biblical in any way, shape, or form, but I envision something happening and I'm standing by the pearly gates. And whoever's standing there is going to let me in. And the only thing that the person says is, tell me what you did with the years you were given to deserve to come in. And my imagination kicks in, and there's millions of people already up there that are like, let him in, let that guy in. And I'm going like, wow. And they go, eh. So if you're the kind of person, whether that's not biblical, right? It's not by any man's work that he should enter into the kingdom of heaven. Right. I understand those. I'm just saying, what if the question was asked and you're going to get in anyway, and you didn't have to respond? The people that are already there get to respond for you.
Yeah.
Because there might be someone that gets asked that question and there's silence.
You're right.
Or I wouldn't let that guy in. She doesn't deserve to be here. So I know that's heavy.
Yeah.
But that's why I stay happy. Those are the visions in my head of how many more people can I get up there before my summer's run out. So thank you, John. I love you, brother.
All right, guys.
That was great stuff for Mary. That was great stuff.
Hey,
yeah, that's
John.
on a different plane. That's on a different plane when you're talking to people. Hey, just let the Spirit tell you what to say to people. And people are like, whoa, this is getting out there a little bit. Okay. More chapters coming up. Great. Go ahead.
No problem. Hey, John, really quick. Is the book called Found God's Will by John MacArthur? Okay. I will post that in the chats. So I just wanted to make sure before I posted that up. Fantastic. Okay. Now I'm going to ask a question of Dana, because I know that we keep saying, all right, he's coming up. And there are people that still want to share. Dana, is it okay? Thank you so very much. I appreciate that, because, you know, you do such a great job at wrapping everything up into a nice bow here that we loved having you just as we're wrapping this up. So thank you so much. Danielle Vetter. Okay, now, I know you're driving, so I hope you're driving carefully. Please open up and share with us.
I'm actually waiting in the pickup line for my kids.
Oh, I thought you were going to order me some food.
Nope, I'm actually in line now, so I'm not actively driving.
Okay. Tell us what's up. How are you? How's everything going?
I'm doing good. I just wanted to share something really positive with everybody.
Please.
I homeschool my kids, but one day a week they go to the homeschool academy and they're connected to a STEM program. And so we were driving to school today and I asked the kids, I was like, what do you guys want to listen to? And my 5-year-old was like, the circus. And I was like, okay, which she means that she wants to listen to The Greatest Showman.
Oh man.
The music to this movie is like amazing. I just love it.
Yeah.
And there's a song on there called Come Alive. And in the thing, it's talking about dreaming with your eyes wide open. And I was just like, oh my goodness. I was like, after yesterday talking, I was just envisioning like so many different things. And I was like, the song's amazing and I have to share it.
Thank you. So I just wish every one of you should have things that happen like this to you all day long. It shows you got to look for them and you got to be open-minded enough to just allow victory after victory after victory after victory. And I can guarantee you, Danielle, that you probably have listened to that song more than just yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it funny how the words jumped out at you?
Yeah.
You're like, what? They've been saying that the whole entire time.
Yeah.
And this time it means more to you.
It did, for sure.
Thank you for sharing that. That is so cool. By the way, I homeschooled my boys. Matt's homeschooled. And yeah, it was so funny because people go, well, what do you do about people that homeschool? How do you get your children around other children? I've never been on so many field trips in my freaking life. It's like it's like homeschool kids all connect together in this thing. And it feels like they're sometimes going on a field trip every day of the week.
Yeah, this is our second year doing it. And we're definitely getting more in groove. Last year, we kind of got a wrench thrown into it. And so this year, we're figuring it out. They do, like I said, they do this one day a week at the STEM program, and then they have dance on Thursdays. So they're definitely they're more busy than I usually am.
Yeah. If you have any questions about it, reach out to me privately because man, I'm not a promoter or an unpromoter of anything, but being able to figure out what your child loves the most and allow them to focus on it most of their life, they turn out to be pretty good kids. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, they love what they're doing and they excel at it and they excel at it and they excel at it. And nowadays the world has changed where there's companies out there that want to hire people. And what they'll do is they'll reach out to homeschool kids because they know their discipline and their manners. And then they'll teach them the things that they need to get a certain job.
Yeah.
So watch the world change for people that homeschool their kids. It's pretty amazing. You know, it's really amazing. So I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
You bet.
And I'm going to ask Danielle one more time. What was the name of that song, please?
Oh, I'm sorry.
She's muted. Hold on.
Come Alive.
By?
It's on the Greatest Showman soundtrack.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
Craig will have it posted while Dana's wrapping it up.
Exactly. So, yes. Dana, bless you. Thank you so very much for being patient. You know, people earn certain positions with this, with what we do. And you have definitely earned being the person who wraps everything up here on Mastering the Science of Getting Rich. So, Dana Scranton, please open up and share.
All right. Well, thank you, Craig. Golly gee, that's neat. Let's see. I wanted to mention to Danielle that are you familiar with the one? Well, she's busy there, but there's a song. That same song is covered by a group called the One Voice Children's Choir.
Wow.
And I don't know if many of you are familiar with that, but they do several numbers from The Greatest Showman. That is an incredible group. It's based out of the Salt Lake City area. but it's all kids of various ages. And they put on some of the most phenomenal music you've ever seen. And it's inspiring. And when it comes to kids, perhaps even more so the homeschool kids, for them to see what is possible. So I just wanted to mention that.
Thank you. And say that again.
It's the One Voice Children's Choir, and they have several songs that they have covered from The Greatest Showman, one of which is Come Alive. And they do that with Grammy Award winner Justin Paul. So it's an incredible group. For me, I get hooked on them. They're one of the things I watch first thing in the morning. I'll go pick one of my favorites and just watch them because they sing, and oftentimes they dance and act. And oh man, I'll tell you, it just makes you want to be a kid again. Okay, so
thank you.
One of the things that hit me was while we were talking about the value of The Science of Getting Rich and how such a skinny book can reveal so much. And then I got to thinking, well, here's something that some of you may not know. This book, which is called The Law of Success by Napoleon Hill, and I'm going to put The Science of Getting Rich up next to it. All right. This book was published in 1928. This book preceded the Think and Grow Rich. This is the book that gave rise to Think and Grow Rich.
Wow.
Think and Grow Rich was published in 1937. So what he did is he distilled this down to approximately not quite this, the double. Yeah. So Think and Grow Rich began as a whole lot more than it was, and it was distilled down to functional things. This book had a little bit different origin. And of all the various possible origins of this, as I have read this, and I've read backwards into the preceding books, one of which is Thought Vibration or the Law of Attraction in the Thought World by William Walker Atkinson. That book was published in 1906. It is also a skinny book.
Crazy.
Now, Waddles, in my opinion, took that book, learned from it, and then compiled short, concise, powerful chapters from those ideas where he also integrated his faith and his background at a time in history when he looked around and saw the need for what he had in his mind and his heart, and he made this book. And today, we're still learning from it. Isn't it amazing?
Oh my
Skinny
God.
book. We can sit here and take a chapter and ideas just come to you, epiphanies, revelations.
Yeah.
And I've read this book every year for years, and I read it sometimes like now I'm reading the dang thing more and more because it just keeps elevating it. So I just wanted to share that with you. And then just to kind of talk a bit about this chapter on the will. When I first read this chapter, willpower, like for many, is difficult. It's a challenge. But then it dawned on me after I read the book several times that it really isn't willpower. It's an understanding of what the will is, which is the compilation of your purpose and your vision, the emotion behind it, the vision in your mind of how people will benefit from you having taken the journey that is your purpose and vision. And the will is that thing that keeps you focused on the benefit that's out there and keeps you alive inside. Wow. And when you start to feel the energy drifting, that's exactly what's happening to you. You are drifting. And I liken this to, and that's, if you've ever read the other Napoleon Hill book, which came out much, much later, it's called, what is it? It's got something to do with the devil. I forget the title exactly.
Oh, how to beat the devil or something like that.
Yeah, it's Craig, maybe you could look that up. But that book, it's really kind of interesting because it goes into keeping you focused. It talks about how you can be distracted. And he uses the devil. He interviews the devil. That's what it is. Kind of an interview with the devil. And he's talking to this guy.
Outwitting
comes
the
back-
devil.
What is it?
Outwitting the devil.
Yes, Outwitting the Devil. And Outwitting the Devil is an interesting book. I actually like the Audible version of it because he goes back and forth with different voices, and it's really kind of
Oh,
cool.
wow. Thanks for sharing.
But that book talks a lot about how the devil, which is the negative energy in the universe, sucks you in to drifting away from your purpose and vision. In other words, drifting away from the will. So I would recommend listening to and reading that book. But one of the things that he talks about, the devil, the negative energy, likes to go after those people who are drifters.
They're the easiest ones.
They're the issue. You're drifting. So this book I liken to the hero's journey. Joseph Campbell's book, The Hero's Journey, which is kind of a thick thing and sometimes difficult to break down. I went through it, and with the help of various other people I associated with, I broke it down into 21 steps of this journey. But one of the things in that book that I came away with was, and it's popular, I mean, it's one of the concepts that are taught, is the night at sea. Part of your journey is you set forth from the shore on your journey, and it's dark. You're on the sea, it's dark. You're navigating by what? By feel, by faith. You develop the strength, the courage, and the belief in the darkness that surrounds you. You learn that it's not about looking at the darkness, it's about looking at the stars. Because you're navigating a journey through life that is surrounded by darkness. If you look at the darkness, you lose your will, you lose your focus, you lose your courage, and you drift. And then you become susceptible to all the negative energy, the social media, the news media, the sports media, all of that stuff. And it pulls you away. So you keep your eyes on the stars to navigate the night at sea so that you arrive at the distant shore, which is the next step in your journey. So that's kind of a metaphor that I've used to try to keep focused. Look at the stars. Don't let yourself become a drifter. The other thing that came to me today in this session is, willpower is, to a very big extent, the affirmation of the clarity of your purpose and vision. If you can sustain clarity, you will have the willpower.
Yep.
The will. If you see the outcome of who you are becoming, like the animal shelters, the wagging tails, or the happy children, all of that is at the end of your journey. You take this journey so that you can come back to the wasteland. You can come back to the area of despair from which you departed and bring back the message. And there's another guy that did that, right? And one of the teachings out of that, John 14:12, which my preacher, he looks at me oftentimes with a mouth agape in, huh? And I get it. I get it. I told him one time that the center of the Bible is John 14:12, and I could just see he wanted to argue about that. But I said, I don't care what your center is. That's my center. And basically what that is even the least of you with belief can do these things. I mean, that's paraphrasing it.
Amen.
Well, what are these things? Well, these things are the miracles of your life. These things are the impact that you make on the world. And your will is an exercise in belief. Belief in all of that which empowers you to become more and greater. Whatever you believe in, you can stack beliefs to keep this journey going, keep you from drifting. So that was just kind of what I wanted to share today in this particular chapter on will. It really comes down to belief, courage, conviction, and the exercise of your purpose and vision with clarity. And if your will is lacking, go back and start looking at clarity. Focus on the stars, not the darkness. Stay away from that negative energy. It's just it'll suck you in every time. It's intentional. It's the universe has a negative side to it. For every positive, there's a negative, you hear that. So you have a choice, and your choice is to not let the negative energy suck you in. So that's what I wanted to share today.
Dana, the only two things that came to my mind is first the analogies is you know, when I say to people that, you know, what are you looking forward to? And if you were in the middle of the dark in the ocean, you know what I mean? You better be looking forward to the light. You you know, I can't imagine being in the night and it's a cloudy night. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, people go, what do you do? And if you don't have a good sense of where you're going, then a lot of people not only get distracted, but they'll let the cells down. And now you're drifting. And when you're drifting, you hit stuff. And it's sometimes you'll hit stuff that you can't recover from, you know? So, and then the other thing is I've always had this saying, Dana, and while you were talking, you know, I always tell people that I'm a very simple person. I'm very simple. And when you were talking, I'm childlike. I'm childlike, and a child can lead you. So a lot of things complicate people's lives because they have something in their mind or something in their programming that tells people that everything is difficult. That if someone's achieved something of greatness, it's difficult. And it's just the opposite. It's the negative energy that lies to each and every one of us that makes us feel overwhelmed and you know, confused and frustrated, and this doesn't work for me. I'm so childlike that I work on that childlike. I try. Albert Einstein said it, that, you know, if you can't explain this to a first grader, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. And so everybody wants to add so many steps and make it so complex. And the only people that do that is in the service of their own ego. Right? So people sometimes ask me, Robert, well, how are you so connected? Oh, I read something that said, you know, the more that I spend time with him, the more he'll spend time with me. So the nearer that I want him to me, the nearer he becomes. So it's very difficult to build this power on the intuition and be guided by a higher power if you ignore it or don't spend any time with it. So in that part, it's like, okay, so how do you get a great relationship with your spouse? Pretty simple. It's like you need a common goal, a common thing to go after. You know, when Terry and I, it's weird. We just had this conversation the other day. And all I said to her, are there things that you need or want to focus on that I don't know about? And she was going, nope. Okay, we're on track. So there's things that she wants to accomplish that she knows she's going to get more joy from. And I was put on this planet to make sure that happened. I'm so simple. Honey, tell me what would make you smile. Tell me what would keep you in a great mood. Tell me what I can do where all day, every day, you're giving me compliments and you're saying, thank you, sweetheart. And, you know, because if that lady constantly is giving me praise and recognition, then my goal is to make sure to keep a smile on her face. And what people tend to do is they tend to criticize their children and criticize their spouse and criticize their siblings. And then why would I want to be around you? You don't make me feel good. Guys are pretty damn simple. And what? Everybody tries to say we're complex. We're not. We want to know that we're doing good. We want to know that what we do is appreciated and recognized. We don't need to hear how bad we're doing. I got that from my parents. I got that from my siblings. I got that from aunt and uncles, you know? And so you think about the other parts of your life, any other part of your life that you want to look at. If you can't figure out a positive way to do something that takes a little bit of time each and every day, I heard a principle. I'm sure someone made it up. Dana would know its originality. But this guy was talking about 100 hours a year. He says 100 hours a year. If you dedicate 18 minutes a day at anything, in 1 year, you'll be better than 99% of the people on the planet. That's crazy that you can't find a way to do something for 18 minutes. Most of the people that I know that wanted to travel abroad, the very first thing they learned to do is how to teach English in that country. That's all they did. So a friend of mine, Timothy Watucky, wanted to go to Thailand. And so he goes to Thailand and he says, I want to teach people from Thailand how to speak English. Do you know how much money they paid him? It's his first language. And I go, don't you have to know Thai? And he goes, no. Bottle. Don't you know English? Can you teach English? And I'm going like, dude, are you serious? He goes, I can get a job anywhere in the world teaching people how to speak English. I'm going, how many of you got chills? He's like, oh my God, if I went to another country, what would I do? Teach people how to speak your language? It's like, so things are simpler with very little steps, with very little time to take you from ordinary to extraordinary. So thank you, Dana, Dr. Dana. That was, I'm going to rewatch that. I don't know about you guys. It's like, maybe when we get done, I can just take Dana videos and have him, all in one, just take all the
Dana's greatest hits.
Okay, Craig, back to you. Thank you, everyone. This was awesome.
It really, really was. And thank you, everyone, for sharing. Those of you that shared, Bill Shoemaker, Mary Martyr, Corky, Mary Valchik, Karen, I'm sorry, I forgot your last name, Danielle Vetter, John Tier, and of course, Dana Scranton. Another, as Melody has put it here in the chat, another fabulous call or presentation or share, however you want to put it. Thank you so very much for being here, for watching. Those of you that are watching on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. We've got more of Mastering the Science of Getting Rich coming up with Chapter 10 tomorrow. And you know what? Yes, we were talking about how to use the will today. And tomorrow we're going to talk about the further use of the will. So how important is will and willpower? 2 chapters. 2 chapters. Yes. So join us tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern Time for the live versions. Otherwise, please watch the replays on YouTube. We thank you so very much. Those of you who want the information in the chat that have been on Zoom, very simple to do. Click on the 3 dots to the right of the 2 where the chat is, and then you'll see Save Chat. Click on Save Chat. It will download to your computer. Those of you that are watching here on YouTube, yes, the chat will be there, and all of the information there that we've shared, meaning the links and other things, will be there on the video. So thank you all very much. Bless you so much for watching. Robert, thank you for being our guide.
Thanks, Freddie. Thanks, Freddie, for coming on.
And thank you, Freddie, for coming on. So until next time, and I'm going to unmute everybody, please be good to yourself, be cash, and bye-bye. There, everyone's unmuted, so
thank you, everybody. Love you all.
Thanks, everybody.
John, guys.
Thanks, Bill. Say goodbye to your puppy dogs.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Karen. See you, Michael.
All right, take care, y'all.
Thanks, Jerome. Thanks, John.
Welcome.
Thanks, Danielle.
Danielle.
Who's
You.
peeking around Michael's shoulder there? How's she doing that?
Hi.
That was funny. I'm like, hey, look behind you. There's a guy behind you.
That's so funny. That's awesome. Thank
It's one
you.
of the tricks of Zoom. Yes.
Right?
Thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Danielle.